Session is going to be very educative, it's going to be very informative, it's going to be action oriented. So I want you to grab a piece of paper and a pen and take notes, because most importantly, we are forging a path that will enable us to achieve our dreams, to help our people to be free, but most importantly, so that we can achieve all that we desire. So let's jump right quick into the video.
Believe me, we will never get independence. I'm speaking here honestly, and I'll call names. I'll have to get into Ayapa, I'll get into Akanga, I'll get into Sako, I'll get into Chris. No matter what we do, even if we take over Boya, Bamenda, Mutengene, and the rest, no country will sign for our independence. That's the reality, and that's how we look at things.
I have more important things to take care of.
Wow. If you know Tapang Ivo, he was an advocate championing this movement for a very long time. He was one of the pioneers that was sensitizing the public on this movement. I just want to take us memory lane. I want to take us down the memory lane of this entire struggle. We know that it all started in Bamenda. The lawyers and the teachers went on the street and said, we want to be free. They were demanding certain things. They said, we feel like we are being marginalized. We feel like we should not be in court and have a French judge preside over us, or have someone be judged in French and they don't understand what the verdict of that judgment looks like. They should be able to participate, right? So the lawyers felt like the French was violating the common law. And then the teachers also felt like we shouldn't just let teachers who teach geography in French come and teach our people, because they don't understand. They've been learning their whole life in English. And so they felt like this was a violation. This was the plight of the teachers and the lawyers. The entire nation rose up, or maybe the English part of the nation rose up and said, yes, we agree with them. And we want this change. We want this change. That was the initial cause of the struggle. I want every English speaking Cameroonian to remember. You will realize that we moved from the teachers and the lawyers to federalism. From federalism, we went to Ambazonia. That is, we wanted now our nation. We want a whole nation. And we went back to 1961 and said, this was a mistake that was made. We want to correct that, because we've always had a nation. And somehow the French infiltrated our region and took over our territory. That became the new struggle. That became the fight. That became the reason why we started building soldiers and building armies and donating money for ammunition and weapons. This is where we find ourselves today, but that is the struggle, and that is the memory lane of this entire concept of Ambazonia, Southern Cameroon, teachers and lawyers on the street, federalism, and all of these concepts that have emerged in the course of this struggle. I want us to remember how this all started. The reality of the whole situation is, if you present this case before a judge, or you present this case before any foreign official, they would like to understand the root cause of this problem. They would love to understand the memory lane that encapsulates this entire struggle. And if they say like, oh, we heard lawyers and teachers, and then we heard federalism, we wanted dialogue on the table, and then now you're talking about independence. If they cooperate with you, the next thing you're going to demand is reparation. You will go back to colonization. Maybe you go back to slavery and slave trade and say, hey, there was a mistake here. You guys came in and took our people. You came in and took our land. And that is why we are where we are today. Are you guys following? That is where we find ourselves today. And these leaders I'm not throwing stones at any of them. If the public keeps chanting and if you keep thinking that you can get more, it is just a human tendency to move to this direction where we find ourselves today. But there is hope. There is hope because we can always return, no matter where you find yourself, we can always return on the right track and do the right thing. And I'm going to illustrate and actually propose a strategy that can help us be able to regain ourselves and be able to make amends if it is necessary and forge a path for the English-speaking Cameroonians. So I want us to keep watching this video. But one thing you realize before we keep watching the video, one thing you realize is Tapang Ivo is saying, no matter what we do, even if we dominate the entire English-speaking Cameroon, no nation on earth will recognize us. That is very important. Let me save you time. There's a lot to cover. I mean, you get a lot of value. I say get a pen, get a piece of paper because we are going somewhere. I just want to throw this in early. This struggle was not called for. Let's accept this. It wasn't called for. If you go on Google, if you go to the Cameroon Wikipedia page and you scroll down, I'll put that right here so you can see it. If you just scroll down this Cameroon Wikipedia page and you go to Cameroon Bilateral Relations, if you go down there and you just scroll and read the bilateral relations that Cameroon have with other countries in the world, you realize that there is no way that you can ever create a nation in Cameroon or create a nation out of Cameroon. It is impossible. All the people that you go to for help are connected with Cameroon in some way, and they have treaties and agreements to protect each other, to trade with each other, and to respect each other's boundary. Today, if you were creating a different nation out of Cameroon, these nations can come to their aid. And that is the core reason why no country on earth has contributed to this struggle. That is why no country on earth is siding with the Ambazonian movement. Let's keep watching.
Which is my country people, and which I'm going to begin now.
When I don't forget about independence, I tell you a fact, when I forget about independence, Ambazonia is done. All the sacrifices are gone for nothing. When I feel say a joke, person they come pretend for una front. When I feel say why Sako city for dinner because he get popularity.
I'm telling you, my country people is my target. Because the harm that my country people has caused us, especially our boys. He has deceived our boys until it is only now. When I make sure sometimes I talk to them personally, sometimes I send out messages to them. What my country people is doing is like flashing. He pays you advance.
Okay, so this is the reality. We will see that our soldiers are actually surrendering themselves. Like, we don't want to fight anymore. And so they go to the DDR camps and say, we're done with this. I'm tired. They're trying to kill me. And they surrender themselves. What you will realize in this is that it is not just a strategy that maybe countryman came up with to subdue the struggle. What you will realize is the boys are tired. 7 years of fighting, you will get tired. Again, I believe in numbers. 7 is the year of completion, and 8 is the number of new beginning. And we are on the 8th year. And that's why you see people like me emerging. That's why you see other movements championing and advocating for economic development, championing for the fact that the war should come to an end. We don't need to have a ghost town on Monday. People should go back to work. We need to be productive. We need to develop our own economy. And I just want to let you know that even God stands with the idea that this struggle is not worth it. Even God stands with the idea that we should get back to work. We should develop our economy because this strategy is ineffective. To declare yourself a nation is not going to work. It is something that we have to understand and come to terms with it. I understand we have all this courage and confidence and we have all these boys with guns that we think if they get out there and keep fighting, change will come. But we have come to the crossroad that we have to agree that this is not going to work. And again, look at your leaders. Look at our leaders, the leaders of the Ambazonian movement. Look at their allies. Their allies are Biafrans. Their fellow terrorists, as the government labels them. Just look at their connections. Look at the people that they align themselves with. This should tell you that this struggle is a fiasco. And again, this is similar to Julius Malema in South Africa, right? You see the allies, the kind of people that he wants to work with. He wants to work with North Korea. Guys, join the winning team. Join the winning team. And I want to let you know we cannot defeat the government of Cameroon. It is impossible. What we have seen so far is just the military in Cameroon. And yet thousands of people have died from our zone. A lot of the people have fled the country. Some have moved to French Cameroon. Some have moved to Nigeria. And I just want to let you guys know, most of them are not coming back. That is a great loss for us. Most of those people, they are not coming back. Truth be told, they are not coming back. They're going to experience a better life. When we start opening up our doors, it will be like building a whole new country. Or it will be like building a whole new Northwest or Southwest. And so most of those people are not coming back. That's a great loss for us. If we can cut our losses right now and start rebuilding our economy, then there is a promising future for us. Because when there is a will, there is a way. So let's keep watching.
You come in, they grab you, and the story is over. You come in, they grab you, and your story is over.
Lesson number one, my country people talk about it. Listen, whether or not you accept, my country people is a force to reckon with. Me, I agree. He's an enemy that is strong. So we got to be technical to what he do.
My country people had two targets: tarnishing the revolution at the international sphere. The second was let them destroy it on the ground by luring our boys out of the bushes, bringing them to their so-called DDR center.
But this is the reality. People listen to the devil himself, my country people of La Republique, more than they listen to some Ambazonian activists. This is the reality.
So Ambazonians will thank my country people for the wonderful job. Now, we'll go ahead.
Ambazonia, people, they die in hundreds of thousands. But nobody pays attention. But when small 2i people, they die for Burma, for Vietnam, for this, international attention will be paid to them.
So, like I said, we'll be analyzing the video simultaneously. Some of the questions that we've asked is, why is it that many people died in Northwest and Southwest and we didn't have international aid? The reason is because our president, Paul Biya, if there is a problem in Cameroon, no nation on earth, because he has this bilateral relationship with all these nations, they will ask, what is going on in your country? Regardless of what we post on Facebook, regardless of how vocal, articulate, and eloquent we are in expressing ourselves about our grievances, the fact is they will ask the leader of that nation, what is going on? And he will say, I have that under control. Case closed. And he will be dealing with it because he knows you guys will keep killing each other and get tired at some point, which is where we find ourselves today. And then that will be the end of the struggle. I want to share a little story with you about the fly strategy. There's this story about flies. All of you guys, you've seen flies. And this author shares this story in his book regarding the fly strategy. And the fly looking at the window will think that it can go through that window. Trying hard and hard, you realize that most of the flies die on that window pane. But just a few steps away, there is a wide door for that fly to go through. But this fly is bent on achieving its goal through shared will and determination, and the fly will die on that window pane rather than find another route, which is a wide door for that fly to go through. And I want to say the Ambazonian struggle is a fly strategy. Is the strategy of flies. And if we persist and continue in this direction, we will all end up as flies. If you go right now on your window pane, you will see dead flies. That is the strategy that they use. And they all failed. So I want us to keep watching this video.
So I say we are looking for recognition by international organizations, yes, of a certain of repute, and recognition by nations. So that's the kind of recognition we are looking for. We're looking for a country that will recognize our independence.
How many times will tell?
I want to say this interesting, right? I want you guys to go along with me on this. And I want to let you know that true freedom, you don't need to be recognized to be free. A free person is someone that is determined internally to pursue a certain goal and ensure that they achieve that goal. And in that process of achieving that goal, you realize that there is no one that has been standing on your way except you. And the goal was just so easy to achieve if you make up your mind. And I want to let you know, we are not in chains. We are not in chains. The African Americans in America have gone through worse experience than us. We live in a nation where from primary school to university is free. That is how free it can be. We live in a nation where we depend on the president to do everything for us. We are free to create and build businesses that can help our economy thrive. We choose not to follow that direction, right? The fly strategy. We choose that this is the path that we think will take us to success, and regardless of what someone else tells you, no, this is what I've been told, I'm relying on that. Nobody gives anybody freedom. Freedom is a gift from God. You choose to take it, or you choose to think you don't have it. Let's keep watching. That is your leader. That's one of the leaders of the Ambazonian movement, if not the president. That is a reality. These are the people that we're following. And again, I want to also remark that I'm not throwing stones at these people. I have sympathy. I have empathy for them. I have empathy for all these leaders and where they find themselves. And I expect you to have some empathy for them. But most importantly, today, you will write what you think you want to do with your life. What you want to do with Cameroon. What you want to do with the future of that nation.
How many times we will tell Wuna, say nobody never go stand with Wuna Ambazonia. Nobody stands with Wuna. When we are doing independence, United Nations no can celebrate that. How many times I will tell Wuna, say if Wuna get independence today, United Nations no can celebrate that. You think say the United Nations like Wuna? They don't like Wuna. They don't even want cash Wuna shadows. If Wuna get independence today, Wuna go apply for Olympics Wuna self. Wuna go join those organizations. No man will come for Wuna say, oh, I want to set up embassy now. Wuna go knock for people that does that. Nobody recognizes Ambazonia. Nobody knows Ambazonia. And nobody wants to know about it.
But I want a way forward.
So this is the reality. I like that nobody recognizes or want Ambazonia. The reality is, if any country on earth endorses a group like this, it is going to become the norm. And there will be other groups that have been quiet or some other groups that have been rising up in other nations will start saying, grant us what we want. And if there's anything the world wants right now is more unity than division. If there's anything leaders across the world they're fighting for is unity. That's why you see the integration with China and America, with other great superpowers. The initiative is towards unity. They're trying to make sure that the world come close. That's why you even have social media like Facebook and YouTube, and all of the promotions of this platform is because we want the world to be one. We want people to be sensitized, educated, live as one, be free from poverty and stagnation, illiteracy, ignorance. That is the objective. And so any initiative that is fostering division will not be welcomed by any nation. That by itself tells you that the Ambazonian struggle by definition is a failure. Let's keep watching.
The moment Tataw Eric steps into this revolution, we have rendered a lot of calamities that cannot restore any hope or beacon of freedom again for this revolution. First, when you start in the revolution by introducing the Garring process, which we all know, cut off fingers of people, cut off this, cut off that, those bodies that were siding with you will start looking, hey, are you sure I want to continue siding with these people after seeing these photos? Are you sure we have to, are you sure we have to still side with you?
You saw the principal of GBHS, Malcolm, is a francophone. He has packed out because they have Garring one of his terms. The instruction of Garring comes from one person. It comes from one person.
So I say we are looking for recognition.
This is the kind of zeal and energy you can exert when you feel like you have that power. And this is one thing I want to let us know at this point. We think it is easy to run a country until you get there, until you get on those tracks, on that journey of attempting to build a nation, and then you realize it was not as easy as you thought. Guys, if you have the strength and passion like these guys and you want to see change, the best way to go about this is to establish businesses. We've seen this with the Elon Musk, the Steve Jobs. These people in their heart have grievances. They think like the world should be different. And how do they go about achieving that? They establish businesses. Why is it that everybody's using gas? Elon Musk said, no, I'm going to go out there and create an electric car. Amazon. Why is it that people have to go into shops and keep buying things and it's expensive? No, one click of a button you can buy and have a product shipped to your home. And these guys, this is how they use this energy. I can feel the energy they have in them. I'm a businessman and I now understand how they feel. Like the whole goal of many business individuals is to change the world. But I want to say, this is how you use that energy. But doing business is tough. Right? It's tough when you go in there and you start putting people together and you pitch an idea and you start strategizing to expand your business. It is a tough process. So this kind of rhetorics and energy and direction is easy because all you have to do is speak. And if people act, guess what? You're in control. But with business, it doesn't work that way. But if we put in the time, we came to the diaspora with the intention to go into the industries that are transforming global economy, learn, go back home. Don't travel to abroad or United States or Europe. And the whole goal is I've fallen bush. I'm going to get the job that pays the most. I don't care about the consequences or the effect of this decision. I just want a job that I can make money from. I'm a bush faller. And now people back home like, oh, you send money, oh, all of that. And that is the story. That is the loop where we find ourselves in. When I first came to America, I met three groups of people. The first group were the people that were already in their 70s. And most of them say they regret coming to America because it feels like their life is wasted. They came here and all they did was get a job, work money, send it back home, and that was the story. And at the end of the day, they had nothing. It's not like sending money back home is a bad thing. But if you come here and you're able to plant yourself in an industry that will transform your economy, transform Africa, then when the time comes, you go back home and establish those industries, we would have had a better Cameroon now. If the people that traveled abroad went with the intention to go learn and develop skills in an industry that would transform our economy, we would have been further than where we find ourselves today. I met the second group of people. The second group of people were the people that have been in America for the past 10 or 20 years. And they were in the same cycle. The whole goal was to get the job that can make you the most money and send it back home. Go to a baby shower, go to birthday parties, go to a wedding. And that is the lifestyle of most Cameroonians here in the diaspora. And then there was a third group of people. The third group of people were the people that were about to be misled into following the same path. And I want to repeat, 3 groups of people I met in America. Number one, the people who were in their 70s and they regret coming to America because they feel like they have wasted their lives. They made no impact. They never studied and came back home with something to transform the economy. The second group were the people that have been in America for 10 to 20 years. And they were in the same cycle. All they have to do is get a good job, send money back home, build a house back home, go to a baby shower, birthday party, and that was their life. And then the third group of people were the group of people that were about to be misled to follow the same tracks, of which I questioned this strategy, that we can do better. We can sacrifice. You will not have enough money for a very long time, but once you learn a skill in an industry that is moving the world, you will get more than what you're getting in this job in 10 years. That is what you spend 10 years to achieve at this job. You might take just a year to achieve that when you have a skill that can transform your economy. That is a reality and where we find ourselves. Let's keep watching.
Recognition by international organizations, yes.
Garring go day for one thing that for picking the hand when they want to go school for any part of Southern Cameroon, because when we take this school issue to the Republic, so for Southern Cameroon not be having job. So if you listen me, send them down for any mommy say, if I see anything for school, if I see anything for school, you know what very possessive. So I take the responsibility, man, not every type of coding anywhere. I will teach the Peking how to teach Garring. I will teach you, I will give Garring lesson. Nonsense. When I think of the for joke, when they kill people that can't talk about school, no school, no, that is it. See, listen, not Mr. Man, LeBron, Steve, not tell me no. Any picture go with the Garring, the Peking. In fact, I don't move from one finger to the entire hand. If anything go there, Garring one hand, Garring one hand, Garring one hand. Nonsense. When I think of the general joke, one thing I know correct, in fact, LeBron, Steve, I don't beg, I don't change my mind. Now one hand now. Any picture go there for school, give Garring for his whole hand. The whole hand. Put Garring there. So that when go have mommy asking away, mommy have to make Garring. Now Garring do me so. The people will understand. The other one they will get the message. No man will go straight in. Nonsense. When I feel the joke, shit. When I go to school, Musiam.
That's tragic, though. I mean, that video is very, very graphic. Just listening to what he's saying, I mean, like, that is where the struggle got to. That people's arms can be amputated, people's arms and hands can be cut in broad daylight, and they be alive to see and experience someone approach them, grab your hand, place it maybe on a table or on a tree and chop it off. That is what we got to. It's a sad tale. And again, I want to say, most Cameroonians in the diaspora, their heart is filled with pain. And it's because most people are into nursing jobs. It's very stressful and high intense. And they work like long hours. The second group of people are into truck driving. Some do Uber. Very few in tech. Very few are doctors. So with that, when people go through the stress, and they start thinking that there can be a reform in Cameroon so that they can come back and build a nation. They are very, very patriotic and excited. They have all this energy, and I can see it. Why am I saying this? Because you realize when Eric Tataw started a business, you realize his energy changed because he started getting some good money, some income, and then he started putting some value on his life and also being careful of the kind of things he's saying. And then he started backing off the entire struggle. Most of these people going through what they are going through or saying the things they are saying, some of them are in deep pain. And if you can help them, even in the diaspora, with opportunities, that pain and that energy you see is going to reduce. And that is what we see in the life of someone like Eric Tataw. I hope he's on a recovering journey. And there is a lot that you guys will have to do, and not just let these people die, not just let these people and their lives be wasted. So there is going to be a rehabilitation process. Now we've heard of DDR camps in Cameroon. Maybe they are not effective, but at least the government is doing something in an attempt to solve this problem. If they are not effective, you guys have to be there in the trenches. Just like you donated money for arms, you have to donate money for rehabilitation. To help these young people, you have to donate money to help ensure that they get out of those camps, get into therapy, and get a job and be able to build their lives or start a business or learn some trade. It is very, very important that you guys note that this whole rehabilitation process, because from what I'm listening or hearing from these leaders, they are at the point where they feel like they made a mistake and they're trying to correct themselves. They are trying to say they are sorry. I hope they are going to really make an official apology video, every one of them, to say this was a mistake to the English-speaking people of Cameroon and to the president of Cameroon. This is very, very important. They are going to make an official apology, and there are strategies and steps that they are going to take to collaborate to ensure that there is peace and the lives of those who have been victims of this war be restored. And those who are dead, there should be a way that you make an amends for people to say, yeah, this was a mistake. And we see how far you are willing to go to say you are sorry for what you did. There are steps to go about this. Okay, so we'll keep watching the video.
The moment you start maiming people and chopping off their fingers, that is what they see about Africa. When whites see Africa, they see Rwanda, they see Ethiopia, they see Liberia. I will tell you one thing. When whites see Africa, they believe that you guys are anti-gay, that's fine. They believe that's your culture. They believe in anything you want to do, that's your culture. That you live on trees, that's your culture. But that you should not chop off people's fingers and the rest, and their hands and the rest. That's what whites don't and will never side with you. We want to win the attention and the sympathy of the white population in the world. We want to win the sympathy of those people who matter, who call the shots in the world. We want to win the sympathy of the Human Rights Watch that has been against the regime, but now for its first time as of this week, wrote its first report saying secessionists are now limb choppers.
The first time I came out to say that Sako is a scammer, it was so shocking to a lot of people who actually believe what I was saying, but said that I should not say it anyway. We must be able to disregard, undermine, and kick out Sako and Chris Ano. These are people working for La Republique.
I just want to stop right there and make a comment on what Tapang Ivo said. I want to help us understand that what we did, what the Ambas did by chopping off people's arms, killing people who don't agree with you, proved to the entire world how incompetent we are to run a nation. I want to repeat that. Amputating people's arms, cutting off people's hands and fingers proved to the entire world how incompetent you are as a leader to lead yourselves. And I want to let you know this is what happened after the colonial era. They said these people are incompetent. They had to give you a time period to say, oh, this is a trusteeship era where we will ensure that you guys are competent to lead yourselves. So far, we have been blaming African leaders over the years as being incompetent. What are we saying? We are also reminding the Europeans that they were right. They were right to say you guys were incompetent to lead yourself. We have to govern you guys to the point where we feel like you are competent enough to lead yourselves. And I want to say, Paul Biya is not the problem for us Cameroonians. The president of Cameroon is not the issue. The issue is the people. A whole nation with over 27 million people should not expect the president to be on every corner of the nation to develop that nation. Paul Biya has never come to my city, or maybe he has come once in Bamenda, but he doesn't come every day. The minister doesn't come to my city every day. But we have people that we live with every day that have been given certain assignments. And those assignments include projects, including the constructions of roads. And if they don't do that, we can't blame the president. We are our own problem. If we get up every day and we don't think about entrepreneurship, and I want to let you know, some people see America because I know what is motivating us. I know what is motivating us is because we live in the West and we see all the benefits, the enjoyment and the prosperity that they are enjoying. And we think that if we pick what they are doing on media, we see the politics and we think if we put that in Cameroon, plug and play is going to work. No, my friend, it doesn't work that way. What runs America is capitalism. Capitalism in a nutshell is entrepreneurship. Okay? The people that initiated the idea of entrepreneurship transformed this economy. Many of you guys don't know about Milton Friedman. You've heard of George Washington. You've seen Barack Obama. You've seen Bill Clinton. You've seen Donald Trump. You've seen all these presidents. No, what runs America is capitalism. Free enterprise. Okay? That is what runs America. I was sharing this with a friend and I was just saying, look at it. What takes the most of your time every day? Your job. That is where you spend the most of your time every day. When you come back from work, you eat food, maybe you watch the news, you watch a movie, you play a game, whatever you like to do. But the most of the valuable time of your life every day is controlled by your job. And so the decisions that are made at your job controls your life more than politics, more than the government, more than the surrounding you find yourself in, because that is your source of living. That is your source of livelihood. And so we should value creating jobs, creating businesses, because at the end of the day, it's not Paul Biya that puts food on your table. It is the job that you do that puts food on your table. And so if you value creating those jobs, if you value serving at that job with all your heart, knowing that this is a source of a livelihood for you, you double your effort, you increase your effort, you expand businesses. That is what brings prosperity. That is what makes America work. Some people work for Amazon. Some people work for Apple. Some people work for Facebook. Some people work for NASA. Some people work for the post office. All of this, some people work for FedEx, UPS. Some people are truck drivers. All these businesses that provide jobs for people, they control your life. So when we fold our arms and we really look at the government, what are we saying? What are we doing? Wherever you find yourself abroad, are you controlled by the government of America more than your job? I don't think so. Wherever you find yourself in Dubai, in UK, in America, you are controlled more by your job than you are by the government. Maybe you only get to have an encounter with the government. Maybe when you meet the police on the road and you're speeding and they say stop, that is when you get an encounter. Without that, you have strict instructions coming from your job on what you would do with your time every day. So let's prioritize free enterprise. So Milton Friedman is the architect of the freedom, the economic freedom that you enjoy in America. Not some legislation that was passed by the government. I'm not saying those don't have an effect. Those don't have a contribution to the development of America. It does, but the most part comes from free enterprise and businesses that have been established in America. And I've not heard any of these leaders mention this, even an iota of them. I mean, like a word hasn't come from the mouth of any leader encouraging Cameroonians to establish businesses. The whole idea is let's break out, establish our own country, privatize our resources, get revenue out of that, and then be able to build an economy. That is socialism. That is a failed strategy. China failed with that, and they had to adopt capitalism, and that is why you see they're experiencing freedom. Everyone can start this in their little communities back home in Cameroon. Everyone. I'm talking about shareholder capitalism. Because when you say capitalism, it's very broad. Shareholder, you call your brother, your sister, your cousin, your uncle, good friends, and you say, I have this business idea. It will cost me 300,000 francs. Can you chip in 25,000? I am going to pay you 10% interest every year on this money till I establish myself. And most of them are willing to contribute if you can pitch your idea and they understand that you know what you're doing, you know what you're saying, and they will not lose their money. Guess what? I'm talking about shareholders. Some of them come on board, they will be shareholders in that business. And that is how America was built. America was not built by a government that you think was strong and had every power to write these declarations. America was built on free enterprise. And free enterprise is what drives this economy. Okay? Not socialism, which is what we are advocating for in Africa. It is going to fail and it's not going to work. Let's keep watching.
All the nations of the world don't like the idea of secession. They just hate it from face value. But ours is not, and we want to make that difference. So this is what it is. And number two, at the level that we are right now, we need nations that can recognize us because we are not trying to be independent. We have restored our independence. What we are looking for is recognition. If Biafra or IPOP recognizes us, what is that going to change? We need nations of the world to recognize us. Nigeria voted yes for our independence in 1961, in that resolution 1608 of our independence. Nigeria voted yes. So we would rather have Nigeria endorse our position to restore our independence than to have a group of activists or a movement that is fighting to secede to recognize us. Politically, what's the calculation?
Not even some secession is the sex.
If you just listen to your leaders and understand the bilateral relationship that Cameroon have with other countries, you will not pick up an arm. You will not pick up a gun to go kill anybody. You will not even say there should be ghost town anymore. I just want to break that again. I say, if you just listen to what your leaders are saying and you read the bilateral relationship that Cameroon has with other countries, you will not pick up guns to go on the street. You will not kill anyone. You will not even want Monday to be a ghost town because you want to be out there producing. You want to use that time to build and develop yourself. So that is our leader. And he's like, no nation in the world wants secession. That is a leader saying that, right? No nation in the world wants secession. And he is right. And like I said, if they grant this, you might think yours is different. It's the same thing. It's not different. It is secession. Regardless of how you word it, regardless of how you articulate the concept, it is secession. And no nation on earth wants that. Take note of that.
Secession is they locked all of us in their room and said, we are now limb choppers. Please stop this video, go on Google and watch it and read the video and read the Human Rights Watch and Deutsche Welle. They said, and look at the gravity of what I'm saying, that secessionists, it is not bad to be a secessionist. We are all secessionists, that's right. Because we want to secede, we are cutting off from La Republique. That secessionists are now finger choppers and threats to children in Ambazonia. With that kind of mentality.
Why it's a failed movement is because of what you are hearing right now. And so after this video, decide your future.
From Human Rights Watch, that is very credible. One of the organizations I wish I can ever work there. Human Rights Watch writing about that against us. Tell me how we can do a damage control or how we can ever win and get back our independence. No matter what we do, even if we take over Boya, Bamenda, Mutengene and the rest, no country will sign for our independence. That's the reality, and that's how we look at things. Believe me, we will never get independence. I'm speaking here honestly.
You've heard it, that we have been labeled limb choppers. There is no hope. I repeat, there is no hope to continue going the path that we are going. Monday, people should be able to go out and start walking. Don't sit at home and waste valuable time that you should be using to develop yourself and produce more and develop your economy. This is the reality. The fly strategy is evident. It's either you change the strategy right now and say, I will do all I can to build myself, develop my capacity, because this is what the world sees us as right now. This is not a good reputation. It's going to ruin many opportunities of investors ever coming into Southern Cameroon. When they come to Southern Cameroon, they will ask questions. Where is that place where they were chopping off people's hands? They will not want to go there. They will point that is that direction, and they will say they don't want to go there. We want to do business here. We want to do business here. Where they were chopping people's arms, if these guys get mad at us, that is exactly what they would do. We are just depriving our own selves of opportunities, because that is how the world grows. You start building, you start developing your economy, and all of a sudden, other nations look at it and they say, hey, we want to come invest there. You are ruining future opportunities. Even if you declare yourself independent and gain that independence, it doesn't necessarily mean you are going to attract investors. With this reputation, you cannot attract investors. This is detrimental for our own progress. It would take us a lot to clean up this mess. It would take us a lot to be able to let the world know that this is not who we are. Are you guys understanding the words that are coming out of my mouth? This is time for us to clean up this mess and start taking the necessary actions to show the whole world, because it's not just about Cameroon, that we are credible, we are worthy people, we are respectable people, we have a future, we have a destiny, we have a culture. It will take us time to build that reputation. So if you still think that you should get out there tomorrow and cause another trouble, think twice.
Paul, the way we have suffered, even federation will even take. Paul, the way we have suffered, even federation will even take.
No, I'm asking you people, you think it's correct? We have to stop. We have to stop now. Everybody stop, I beg. People are dying every day. I am wrong, you are wrong. Let's be together. It's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair.
So one of the things that our founding fathers, Poncha Aijo, including Fonangwa for the third that just recently passed, and I also just want to throw this out, especially to the people of Mancon. We've had a great leader that loved us so much and opened up his borders and integrated other cultures and other tribes and said, Mancon is a place where anybody can come in and build an amazing future. And I just want to say, he stood for the idea that Cameroon is one and indivisible. And I just want to say that those are the words that came out of our leaders. And today, if we step up and say, Angwafo made a mistake, Ninja Frunzi made a mistake, Foncha made a mistake, I mean, I don't know. What foundation do we stand on? What foundation are we standing on? We have to respect those who came before us. There is more for us to achieve in Cameroon if we unite with the French and have no divisive energy and believe in our heart that this union can work. It is like a wedding, it's like marriage. Nothing is perfect. No relationship is perfect. You guys will work out your differences and throw our heart into everything that we do to making that nation a better place. The president himself will see your effort and he is going to come along with you guys. This guy is right that we should stop. We should all stop the killing, because if we do not, we will all die like the fly on the window. And I want to let you guys know that Paul Biya has a very strong military. And he has been developing this military for a very long time because he knows his people. All the things we have been saying in his back, he's bad, he's a terrible leader. It's not like the problem that is affecting Northwest and Southwest is not affecting the French. The entire nation of Cameroon has always developed this negative energy towards the president. And what should he do? Protect himself. He will protect himself. If everybody is rallying and trying to put you down, what are you going to do? Protect yourself. You will build a mechanism to defend yourself in case they try to defeat you. You guys have not even seen the genesis of that army. You haven't even scratched the surface to the strength of the army that we have in Cameroon. Do your research before you even start. So I want to say, if we change, repent, and say, President, we are sorry. We are willing to work together with you. The money that is going towards military, is going towards the army, that money might start coming into your economy. The money that is going towards defense might start coming into the economy if you guys show to the president that you love him, you stand with him, and together you will build that nation. This energy of negative beliefs and words have power. What you say with your mouth has power, enormous power. Just saying that the president is bad, even if he doesn't hear it, it goes in the air, it has power, and it controls even your mind as you say those words. And I want to let you know that if today we start saying positive things about our president, that is why he's still in power. Have you asked yourself the question? He's not dumb, he's smart. He knows that if he even comes down from power, you guys will come up with the strategy to even kill him if he's living in your community. So he will remain in power because he knows you guys. This secession struggle is just a snippet of what you guys can do if you have power in your hands. This is proof even to the world that if power is given in your hands, this is exactly what you would do to your own people. To your own people. You do even worse things that we can even imagine. So guys, this is where we find ourselves. And I just want to let you know, this thing has nothing to do with CPDM. It has nothing to do with black leg. It has nothing to do with what you label people who don't agree with you. This is the time for you to face reality. And most people will not stand up to your face and tell you that you're messing up. Guys, we are in a tough place. Let's change. Let's change our minds, change our words, and change our lives. Because all this strategy, I see us on the news, we have these social media platforms, we keep preaching this idea of division. It is not going to work. The fly strategy doesn't work. Guys, there is hope for us. Our nation is beautiful. We have amazing people. We have smart people. We are going somewhere. The future is bright. I just want to let you know there is so much we can accomplish within a very short period of time if we would just set up good strategies, have a free market economy, have this free enterprise, engage in trade, engage in business, engage in technology. We can experience exponential growth within a very short period of time. It will not have to take us long to do that. In the next 5 years, we can be one of the great nations in Africa if we just invest time in what is necessary for our own development. The same way you guys contributed money towards guns, towards ammunition, we can contribute that same money towards development, towards businesses, towards free enterprise, towards trade, towards tech, towards industrialization, towards development. We can do that. You did that independently without the contribution of the government. The amount of money that was raised towards this struggle, the amount is so huge, independent of the government, and yet you could pool your resources together. You were able to set aside tribalism and stand for what you believe in. We have to prioritize the end more than the means. We have been prioritizing the means more than the end. The end was good roads. The end was good schools. The end was good jobs. The end was developing our economy. That is the end. The means was war and cessation. If that strategy is not working, change it. Unless people have ulterior motives and just want to kill one another. If your goal was really to achieve good roads, good school, and this strategy is not working, change it. Change it and adopt another strategy that can help you achieve your goal and enable your people to achieve freedom that you claim you wanted initially. You wanted them to have good roads. You wanted them to have good schools. You wanted them to have good jobs. You wanted them to have businesses and all of this good stuff that you wanted them to have for their community. If that is the end, and then this strategy, which is the means, is not working, be willing to change your strategy, or else you will die like flies. You will die like the flies on the window pane. And I want to let you know, when you are labeled, it is because of how people watch you, the way you act. That is why they will call you terrorist, because your action is consistent with that of a terrorist. Your ways are consistent with that of a terrorist. Change your ways. Show the world that you really wanted good roads. And in your speeches, let's keep hearing that. Let's keep hearing developmental strategies that you are proposing for your people to adopt to enhance the quality of their lives. We don't hear that more. We hear more of division being the end than good jobs, good roads, good schools. Let's prioritize what will bring our people ultimate freedom. And as we start doing this, we will realize that the president is going to be on your side. The country will be on your side. Foreign nations will support you with their own resources to help develop your economy, not provide ammunition for you to go fight your brothers, to go fight your sisters. I love you guys so much, and I hope this session brings clarity, and I hope you've been taking notes. Today, ask yourself the question, who do you know that you can be able to pull 10,000 and 15,000, 20,000 and start some small business? How can you speak to a brother that is lost in the bush to keep their arms down and be able to start rebuilding their lives and preach to them this beautiful Cameroon that we all see, the Cameroon dream? This is the way forward. Let's pool our resources together and start call centers in Cameroon. Many of these people fighting, most of the Ambas, I've heard their voices in audio recordings. They speak good English. Some of them are university dropouts. Some of them went to school. They are smart. Let's start by creating call centers in Cameroon. There are many companies in the diaspora that are looking for people that can handle their customer service department, that can answer calls when they even go to sleep, to ensure that their companies and their businesses are running 24/7. We can invest money in these areas. This English we speak is a blessing. We can start by using that. With a week or two of training, these guys can be able to land jobs. Some of you own businesses, myself included. We own businesses abroad. And sometimes you can't be there all the time to be on phone, or you can't have your people be on phone all the time. These people can be employed from back home, and they will be on phone to answer and serve your customers in the diaspora. That can be a good starting point. And there are many other projects that we are going to unpack as we proceed in talking about these things and the problems that we are dealing with back home and how we can move our nation forward. But this is a good starting point. And not only that, we should establish rehabilitation centers that will help our brothers to detox from the experiences they have had in this war so that they can have that frame of mind to integrate in society. Because it's not easy. They will need help. And this is a time for you not to leave them. If you could instigate and help them or provide them with guns to go to war, you should be able to help them rehabilitate themselves so they can be able to integrate in society. They cannot come and live among people with what they have seen and experienced in their lives. So I think that is the path. If we start with this, we are going somewhere. There is a bright future ahead of us. And I want to let you know there is a Cameroon dream. The Cameroon dream is the dream where every Cameroonian has a job that pays them well. The Cameroon dream is the dream where we have businesses in many industries prospering and developing our economy. There is a Cameroon dream. The Cameroon dream is the dream where we see every Cameroonian strong and fit and in good health. The Cameroon dream is the dream where we see every Cameroonian having their own automobile. That is, they have their own vehicle that they can drive and move around. The Cameroon dream is the dream where we see every corner of Cameroon has a tarred road. That is the Cameroon dream. The Cameroon dream is the dream where we never run out of electricity. We have a nation where it is powered by electricity or solar energy, that we never run out of electricity. There is a Cameroon dream. The Cameroon dream is the dream where we see ourselves as the beacon of light for Africa. That is the Cameroon dream. The Cameroon dream is the dream where we are free of corruption, but we see ourselves integrating, loving, and caring for one another. That is the Cameroon dream. The Cameroon dream is the dream where we will see our brothers and sisters in the diaspora learning in multiple industries and coming back home and establishing businesses, and the people are benefiting and they are growing and they are expanding exponentially. That is the Cameroon dream. And maybe I've never painted this picture for us to see, and I thought I'd do it right now so you know where I'm going with what I'm doing on this channel. Share this video, like it, subscribe to this channel, engage your brothers and sisters. Together we are going somewhere. United we stand and divided we fall. We stand for one Cameroon. We stand for a prosperous Cameroon. We stand for a Cameroon that fears God. We stand for a Cameroon where life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness reigns. That is the Cameroon we believe in, and that is the Cameroon we are building.